Picking up a heavy, creepy vibe here.
You ever have the suspicion that you've been abducted by aliens?
Poltergeist is nothing more than a devil or a demon as far as we're concerned. People say, this guy's going back into the medieval ages. There are no such things as devils or demons. Yes, there are.
3-2, use 105 shells. Bring the rain.
I didn't like him anyway. He wasn't right in the head.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
That was some real John Wayne shit, Staff Sergeant.
You're listening to the Chaos Effect.
You are listening to the Chaos Effect.
And you're listening to the Chaos Effect. And you're listening to the Chaos Effect.
And you're listening to the Chaos Effect.
You're listening to the Chaos Effect.
You have chosen wisely.
Hey everybody, how you doing tonight? Hey, if you can hear me all right, could you put a 1 in the chat? I know, just see there's Bama and there's someone else in there, but I'm not really sure who. I would appreciate that, so I know that this is going. This is kind of all impromptu right now. Oh, nice. Okay, you can hear me. Good, good, good. So if the audio changes or anything like that, you know, you let me know what's going on. I lost a tooth, so I'm talking funny. Yeah, it's the wife. She's a firecracker. So I want to say welcome to the Chaos Effect live. Yeah, live. Just as strange to you as it is for me. I got the lights on. I got it dark in here. There's a Godzilla poster in the background. There's other stuff going on, like those are all clean. Anyway, everything's kind of in a state of disconjunction and all that. No, you did not hear V in there. So, no, you didn't hear that. But how the hell is everybody doing tonight? I wanted to come live. I wanted to see. Now, if my buddy Jay, who is kind of like the, you know, co-lead investigator in Weird Maine Paranormal, knew I was doing this, he'd probably be upset with me because I didn't actually have him come on. I kind of wanted to do this by myself. I don't know StreamYard very well, and the last couple times that I did any live stuff has been through my phone. I actually still don't even know how to add like moderators or anything like that. So I'm working on that stuff, but wanted to come on and I wanted to kind of bounce a few things off of you guys as far as, you know, the direction that the next episode of Echoes is going in. I got a bunch of stories that I still going to do story videos, even though there's been a couple of people that have told me not to. It's not any good, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm just not a whole lot confident in the voice right now because when it comes to T's and F's and P's and those kind of like kind of sounds, the missing tooth in front, I hear it, man. It's like I ain't got no teeth in my head and it's really messing with me. So I kind of have to test out my mic and do all that stuff. But anyway, aside from all that, and plus we'll tell some stories and all that good stuff. And I've got some ideas. So, well, we'll see what's going on with that. How did you guys like the intro? Was the intro all right? I know it was set kind of loud, but, you know, that music gets me going. I got to fix that. Boom. There we go. All right. Still learning how to use this stuff. But it's good to see you guys in here. So what do you want to do? You want to start off with a story? How's that sound? All right with you? You know, somebody told me, oh, and by the way, I'm all set. I got my vape and I got my water and my soda. And if you're a type 2 diabetic, like Uncle Chaos is, don't drink soda. Okay. Someone told me not too long ago when I started this whole weird Maine paranormal stuff and going out and spirit boxing places and talking to spirits or other paranormal investigators from a different reality, yeah, that one popped into my head. Thank you, Bama, by the way. I appreciate that. Someone told me, be careful with what you're doing. They weren't wrong. Honestly, some weird stuff has been going on around here. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with a little bit of, so while people come in and all that stuff, and hopefully, this will get some views down the line and some comments and hopefully give me some next direction on the next show. But because I think it's been, my gosh, about 2 years now that Dad's been gone. And we had gone, myself and Jason and Henry and Bubby had gone to the little cemetery right down the road, River Street. It's the Gowan Cemetery. And I had downloaded a couple of Spirit Box apps, and we could talk about that stuff if you want, because I totally think those things are 100% legit. But anyway, I kind of just shut everything off after that. When you lose a parent, you know what I mean? Someone really close to you. Excuse me, that was kind of like Iraq and everything like that. It's rough, man. I mean, I know there's plenty of you out there that are here now, and we'll be seeing it later. That, man, it makes a hole right here, and no matter what you do, no matter how you move on, you accept it never really fills. It's just going to be a little bit of a void. I guess that's where the whole mysterious nocturnum idea came from. There's a little bit of a void there. It's always going to be there. But I was out on the porch having a smoke, and I decided for the hell of it to turn on the Spirit Box. And I turned it on. And at that time, it was Ghost Tube Vox, which is a good Spirit Box. I actually really like that one. But the problem is that if you don't pay for it, they don't really give you a whole lot of room in the server. So it's kind of like every couple of days you get to do a trial run with it. I'm not sure how long it lasts. I mean, it's been short sometimes and long other times. But when you hear your name come over the Spirit Box, man, that gives you the willies a little bit. It really, I mean, even now, I've had my name come over, all hail Lord Command. That's right. I never changed that, did I? Well, watches on the wall, sword in the dark. That's where I am, man. I just talk to the ghosts. The White Walkers, babies. But anywho, I turned on the Spirit Box and I heard my name come over it, and it kind of like stopped for a second. And I was like, yeah, it's me. And Dad came over. I love you. I'm sorry. Man, I'll tell you. You can say whatever you want about stuff like that, about maybe these apps influencing things and all that stuff. I'm sure maybe there's some that are. But when you don't say anything, I don't know, maybe they can read brainwaves. I don't know, but I wasn't really even thinking about that at that point. I just kind of wanted to see what would come through. And here I am now consoling the spirit of my dad and saying, you don't have anything to be sorry about. Gave it the best dad a kid could ever ask for. So, there goes that. That's going to be kind of like the opening monologue, little heartfelt stuff going on right there. But that actually happened very recently, and with somebody else, and that will kind of come in a little bit later. So it's been like 5 months since the last episode of Echoes from the Afterlife came out. Thank you, sir. And it's just really episode 3. When I started working on this, I had a clear path, 100%. And that has changed drastically. So the question I'm going to ask is, the original idea for Echoes was to go through kind of like almost a Haunted Sanford style beginning on the history of paranormal investigation, because truth be told, I didn't know there was such a rich history. I should have known better. I'll be the first one to say that. Should have known better. I was absolutely dumbfounded. So when I started going through and trying to write a script and doing all this stuff, I must be too boring. I'm down to one. But I brain cramp. I tried to, I think, morph it into something that it probably wasn't going to be. I'm going to kind of stick with that original plan, but it's changed. So, okay. Is it too arrogant to start turning echoes into like our journey instead of being, what's the word? Not biased, I guess, because since we've started doing this, myself and James and Jason and Sandy and Oakley, yeah, my 9-year-old, he's a mad dog, dude. You'll see it in the upcoming videos. You really haven't seen it much, I don't think. Maybe a little bit in episode 2, but Oakley's a mad dog when he gets out into the field, dude. He gets in there. He asks questions. He asks good questions. He's like very empathetic to the souls that we talk to, which, man, I'm going to tell you right now, didn't see that one coming. But aside from that, is it arrogant to start turning echoes to the echoes from the afterlife into like our journey, into what we're going through as a group of people, just kind of getting into this kind of like, instead of just dipping toes into the water, just kind of boop, going right in, is that too much? I almost kind of feel in a way that maybe it might be, but which other way am I going to go with this? Being impartial. I think that's the word that I was looking for. And to a certain degree, we are going to be impartial, and we are, but it's just strange, man. So there's been like literally, thank you. There's been literally 5 iterations of that script for episode 3, which is going to be called The Path. And that's a name that just came up not too long ago in talking to the rest of the guys and the girl and the kid, that the path is kind of like, everybody walks a path in life. But when you walk this kind of path, when you're doing that kind of thing, it's like, man, I'll tell you, it really changes everything. It's kind of takes like, it's like a Yahtzee shaker, man. It shakes you up and then turns it completely upside down. And I'm not trying to be too overly dramatic, but with a lot of the stuff that's kind of been going on here that hasn't really been documented, because I just can't get my phone or my camera out all the time and just do that stuff. I'm not influencer material. Let's just say that, I don't think, but that's also why the subject of a Patreon might have been coming up, because of the simple fact that it's like, bro, both my shoulders are shot and I'm sick of working just like the rest of us. My buddy Jay seems to think that he's like, dude, we could start a Patreon and make money and do all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, hold up, bub. We're like really, really small time here. But I think maybe doing live shows, talking to you guys. What do you want to hear for stories? How are the episodes going? What are some ideas for upcoming episodes? Like, I've got 3 or 4 episodes already planned right up here that I want to do, but there's going to be more than 3 or 4 more episodes coming out. So having the feedback from you guys is, for me, essential. 100%, man. You know what I mean? I need you guys, as much as you would like to watch or listen to the content. I need you guys to kind of help me with that stuff. I know I should probably know better, but hey, I'm just winging it here like the rest of us. Excuse me. Kind of like parenting and, being a dog parent now, which is, I didn't see that happening in my lifetime. But if you guys, some of you, if you've ever gone to the TikTok channel, you'll see the puppy. Yeah, he's something else, I'll tell you. The chillest 4.5-month-old puppy you'll ever meet, but goodness me, I've been doing some extra work lately, going out into the field now that the weather's starting to get nice here. Unfortunately, we had like 7 weekends in a row where it's just been rain all the time. Kind of can't go out and do that stuff. So therein lies rewriting and writing and deleting and rewriting the next, script for the next episode. Yeah, I know. Honestly, I kind of like to get cats, to tell you the truth. I'm kind of a cat man. I mean, we had dogs growing up as a kid, and I loved my dogs. They were awesome. But I've been more of a kind of a cat person in a way, as funny as that is. And so this guy is the first time I've ever owned a dog in my adult life. And it's like, I've got a 9-year-old now, and now it's like having a 4-legged toddler, let me tell you. Yeah, exactly. So there's some stuff that's come up for me lately, and we'll get into some stories in a little bit, but I kind of wanted to throw this out here, kind of, just to let you know that I am working on stuff. Stories are kind of like self-exclamatory. Got to record them. I've got an idea for visuals, which is not going to be just a picture, a thumbnail up on the screen. And that actually idea came from TikTok, believe it or not. So watching certain videos, and I would listen to these Reddit stories, and the person on there is playing Minecraft. I'm like, that's actually a good idea. It's only kind of not using Minecraft, but that's an option. So some stuff has come up for me. I was done with Haunted Sanford, completely done. I did that. I moved on doing echoes. But now some things have come up where I don't think that I'm completely done with Haunted Sanford. Working on a near future episode, working on a Haunted Sanford 2.0. Don't think I think that's just the working title. It's scribbled down somewhere. I can't remember. But some things like certain people coming forward and telling me certain things that I had only kind of just had a theory about, no pun intended. And when you have certain people come up in the content in the comments, you know what, Bubba? Go ahead and ask that question. When I see it come up, I'll answer it. Until then, I'll just keep rambling, okay? So please, by all means, ask, because this is almost like an AMA as well. But when you get people contacting you in your email, because I'm the ding dong that misspelled my channel name in my email, so that's why I'm going to start a new email. And when that comes out, y'all will know it. That the whole certain things that happened in the video that I talked about went a lot deeper than I thought it would. And I did a couple of interviews on camera. You don't see faces, but I've got voices and the camera's pointed a certain way. So it's just kind of one of those things where it was like, it kind of blew my mind that, of course, everything goes deeper than, there's always a deeper story to everything. But most times, especially in this day and age, we really only scratch the surface and then we're on to the next thing. And going out and doing some more spirit boxing in that area has brought up more things. So do the cryptid and the paranormal world, do they align with each other? Personally, I do think they do. How exactly? I don't really know. There's also been a few other things that I think align with the paranormal world as well. Like the Fae. I think that they play a big role, especially in certain areas. And I think one of those certain areas is up here, because we've had, I think, some interaction with that. Not so much, well, physically kind of, but it's been strange. I'll tell you the story and you let me know what you think about that. I'll be the next one that I tell. We'll go into that one next. But aside from all that, I've been able to talk to a couple of people that own businesses in those old mills now. I'm just waiting to hear back, because I'm really not the type of person to bug somebody about something. I think if you really want to be a go-getter and you just kind of like keep chipping away at that stone, but I think there's some things that you don't really want to test too hard. I'm going to ask again, but we'll see how that goes from there. But it just kind of proves to me that there are other things that play a larger role, I guess you could say. And I think maybe in future episodes, we'll kind of go from there. the first thing I think that anybody thinks of, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the first thing when anybody says cryptid, they think of Bigfoot and they think of Dogman. In listening to certain creators, kind of like their opinions on the matter, stories that they've gotten from other people, I do think that when it comes to Bigfoot and when it comes to Dogman, that they are a mix of like a flesh and blood, a spiritual, and almost a supernatural paranormal kind of thing. It's just kind of what I'm hearing. It's like my own personal thoughts on the matter. I mean, I don't know that I could really go so deep into that I could sound intelligent saying it, I guess you could say. I think that these are two creatures or cryptids that walk between two worlds. And it's almost like with the whole CERN thing and this Mandela effect thing going on. You're right. There is more than those two. And, there's a lot. And I think everything walks hand in hand with each other. I haven't quite figured out how or where. I think going out in the field and just asking questions, finding hotspots. Like for instance, the Second Baptist Church in Lebanon, which was featured in Whispers in the Dark, episode 2, there was some stuff going on. The camera really didn't, the microphone that we had really didn't pick it up. We did get the fog coming in and moving out in the tree line across the street, but there was something popping. There was some popping and crackling in the woods that were going on not too far away from that tree line. What exactly what it was, we don't know. We took, I had the big flashlight. We took that up and threw that in the tree line, but there wasn't any eye shine. There wasn't anything that we could see. Could have been a person, could have been an animal that may have looked at us that we just didn't catch the eye shine. We're trying to look. I think we're like looking. We weren't looking more toward the ground, I guess you could say. So if it wasn't, mid to tall in height, we didn't catch anything as far as that goes. But yeah, well, let's get into this Faye thing. In working on the Springvale Wreck episode, I've been having to do some research on the King Philip's War. And the King Philip's War was something that happened, I believe, in the mid to late 1700s. Might have actually happened before that, but I think that was around the time. I learned that it went a lot long. It started a lot, it's the right word. It started long before it kind of reached up into this area. I get apparently from I heard reports that it started in Massachusetts, and then I'm hearing reports that it started in Rhode Island. But basically what that was is it was the settlers and the Native Americans that started fighting with each other for some reason. By the time that episode comes out, I'll have my facts straight as far as that goes to try to weave a certain narrative, weave a narrative that will be interesting enough to keep watching mixed in with clips. But the weird thing about that is that there are rumors. And when I say rumors, it's not so much written in historical text. This is like kind of almost legend, when it comes down to it, that the natives were using the Fae in some manner or form to help them fight. That really wouldn't surprise me, considering they are a people of the land and they were and still are way more in touch with the natural world around us and the energies that are there than I ever could be. I mean, I have conversations with Yahola Tiger, the Warcry podcast, which is awesome. You know what, MV, it was a Rhode Island thing, but from what I understand, and I could be wrong, like I said, I'm still doing research and trying to dig into like local records. I was smart enough to make friends with the new director of the Sanford Springvale Historical Society, she is also a former paranormal investigator that worked with a couple of big paranormal groups, here in Maine back in the day, more or less. So, and she still does that because she sent me some EVP clips that were really, really cool. And So I'm kind of trying to work with her to be able to have access to places that I wouldn't normally be able to go. So that's very helpful. But in working, trying to get information with her and her pointing me in the right direction, that could have touched up here. And what's funny? Remote viewing is a thing. It really is. And I think it's super cool, even though when I hear stories about remote viewing, it bores me to death. But I like to talk to people who remote view that kind of get into the muckety muck of it and actually see if I can get them to take a look at certain areas for me. And there is one certain fellow that has done that for me many times. So the reason why I'm kind of been on this Faye thing is about a month and a half ago. See, when I go to work, and this is context, it's important to the story. There are only two places in this house that I put my stuff that comes out of my pockets. Wallet, change, earbuds. They all go in one spot. They either go right here next to me on my desk, next to my laptop, or I put them right next to my coffee machine out in the kitchen. They don't go anywhere else. They're either in one of these two places if they're not in my pockets, because I'm a very simple person and I forget stuff easy. Old age. What are you going to do? Actually, I kind of always been like that. But anyway. Yeah, exactly. So I'm getting ready for work. I got a house full of people. So it's all three of my sons. It was Lady Chaos and the puppy. He's running around. My ex is there. Everybody's playing with the dog, and I'm kind of scrambling to get my stuff together like I do every day. Cannot find my earbuds. Now, it's not an essential part, but they do let us wear them when I'm at work so I can listen to shows and podcasts and music, because in all honesty, yeah, it does, bro. Because in all honesty, 8 hours in that place, it's so routine for me now. It's just boring, and it makes my night, it makes an 8-hour shift feel like a 16-hour shift. I cannot find my earbuds. They're not right here. They're not out there. Nobody messes with my stuff. You know what I mean? That's the beautiful thing about this family. Everybody respects everybody else's stuff, and they do not touch anything. So I can't find my earbuds. I go here, I go there. I literally combed every single inch of this apartment, man. Could not find them. I checked in old pairs of pants. I even went through all the pants that I had in my wash, because hopefully, God forbid, I wash them. But so anyway, I come back into my studio here, and I close the door because it's loud out there. I need to decompress for a second. I need to think. I got 20 minutes before I got to leave the house. Oh, and by the way, I checked my work bag, which is like basically one of those Walmart cloth bags. I don't need a whole lot of stuff, but I checked that. I literally pulled every single thing out of there, put it on my desk. Can't find him. As I'm standing here decompressing, I put my work bag back together and I set it down next to me. And for whatever odd reason, I don't know, it was like a download, I guess you could say. Basically, is like a suggestion put right into my noggin. Why don't you just say sorry? For what? But anyway, I did that. I said, I don't think it was me. Maybe it was. It's just like I said. I was going a million different ways, and it just said, "Fairies, I'm really sorry. I don't know what I did, but can you please give my earbuds back to me? I really, really need those, and I would appreciate it. And if you could do that before I go to work, thank you." Now, I remember it was 2 days after St. Patrick's Day. That's when this happened. I remember that because of the next step. So I take my bag, I put it out on the recliner by the door, and I'm getting all my food together. And the wife is over by the door. She just came back in with the dog, and apparently she looks down, and my earbuds are sitting right on top of my stuff. Yes, I said fairies. Apparently, the Fae don't mind being called fairies. They've been called a lot worse, apparently, I guess. But that's what I said. Yeah. I was asking the Fae, can you please give my stuff back? Because apparently they really like it when they see us running around. It's like a Jim Carrey movie for them, or pick the funniest movie you've ever seen. It's like a funny movie to them when they see us running around like chickens with our heads cut off, scrambling, trying to find stuff. So yeah. And she goes, they were in your bag the whole time. I'm like, I don't think they were, because I pulled everything out and looked at every single thing in there, but they are there now. So I throw them in my pocket, kiss the wife, the kids, the dog, go to work. I get into work, see what I got to do. Easy night that night. 10-minute rolls. Really going to be, it's not going to be nothing. So I throw an earbud in and I'm looking through my YouTube feed. And I see that Jimmy Church from Fade to Black, which I still love to listen to his stuff, depending on who he's got on, had a St. Patrick's Day thing going on. I'm like, oh, that's cool, man. St. Patrick's Day was a couple days ago, and I start listening to it. This lady blew my mind because she was said that same exact thing that I just said. They will take your stuff and hide it and watch you run around and laugh their silly little butts off with it. No offense. I didn't mean that in a bad way. Heaven forbid they take anything else from me. I can't remember where I put stuff is to begin with, and it's always in the same spot. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So listening to that episode, I was, needless to say, completely riveted, which is strange because now that I think about it, yeah, exactly. The area of the Springvale wreck is just, man, oh God, I can't wait to put that episode out. There's a lot of work to that because unfortunately, I don't think that my new movie studio software actually has that. They don't have a speech to text option in there. And if they do, I haven't found it yet. So basically, like with the 2 Echoes episodes, all those subtitles, I'm putting them bad boys in manually. And that's okay. It's just takes a really long time to do that. That's the longest, not the recording, the editing, the video editing, all that stuff. That stuff goes pretty quick. It's the subtitles from the Spirit Box. Putting that in, that's a pain in the butt, man. I'm not going to lie, but I do that because somebody recommended I do that. It makes life so much easier. So yeah, I'm sitting here with that up. You're my movie studio looking back at me, and I'm like this the whole time. Listening, and I'm over and over and over. Yeah, it's fun. But you know what? I think the videos work better that way, and it makes life easier for me because that gives me the option to put in extra bits of narration to be like, hey, I missed, to kind of, work a little bit with that. But yeah, that was being out in the woods, being out in that area. Like, as a matter of fact, recently, I just found this out too. This lady, Crystal, that is on TikTok. She's a Mainer as well. She goes by Crystal Quartz. I don't know if there's a number after that, but maybe you could look her up on YouTube. Not YouTube, but TikTok, because she does hear what the spirits told you, but I'm glad I could barely hear yeah, exactly. That's one of the things, man. Like with the old Spirit Box, they used the Lucifer's box. There was some stuff I couldn't make out because it was jumbled, but I use right now I use Spirit Talker. Best $5 I've ever spent in my life. Works just like the Obelisk device. And I use Paravox 3, which is kind of like that ITC SB7, kind of like only internet radio, but SB7 style Spirit Box where it scans the radio stations. It works on that same type of thing. And it's really good, man. Like when I tell you about the schoolhouse down the street that Oakley and I actually did tonight. Wicked cool. I'm not going to tell you anything about what we did tonight, but I will tell you about the time before that. And I know some of you follow me on TikTok, and I did that story, but, maybe I can add a little more to it because, when you're doing videos, when I do videos, I do the video, I like it, I put it out. That's when I think of the stuff I missed. And so probably just like tonight, I'll end up listening to this tomorrow after it's, reposted and all that stuff. even though I hate to listen to my stuff, but I'll listen to it anyway, kind of to gauge how I thought I am doing. And dude, I'm always missing shit all the time. When your tooth's made like a ghost in his pit. Oh, bro, yeah. I could say, I got this shirt. I got to tell you this. I will tell you, MV. I got you. But I got this shirt that says my wife beats me. So whenever people look at that, I smile. She did this. But okay. So I don't know if you follow me on TikTok or not, MB. I'm not sure. But we got him at just under 2 months, but we now have my brother Bass. How you doing? Thank you for being here, buddy. Oh, and Bama, MV, I saw Hexen up there. Thank you, everybody, for coming in. This 5 watching. Even if you haven't said hi, thank you so much for being here. I'm going to try not to bore you. But, oh, no, down to 4. I shouldn't have said nothing. But, where was I going with it? Oh, yeah, the tooth. So I have now 4.5-month-old puppy. He's a chocolate lab red-nosed pit mix. He's awesome. He's a beautiful dog. If you can, check out the TikTok channel. He's on there in one of the videos. You get to see him. He's younger in that, but now he's big. Like I sleep on my recliner because he sleeps next to the wife, and there's no room for me there now. So, and when he decides, like if I'm playing a video game or I'm just chilling out on my recliner, I'll stretch out and he comes up with me. He takes up, I got like that much room on the recliner. So, it is what it is. At least I get that all to myself at night. But anyway, I didn't realize that when you're picking your puppy up and putting him in your vehicle, that he takes his head, bah! Well, he put his head back and my face was right there and he caught that front tooth, man. Oh, God. It was like a Bam Bam Bigelow headbutt. Oh, God, loosen that tooth. And for the last couple of months, it's been loose and just been getting looser. It is what it is. And one night, I'm sitting in the living room playing some Gran Turismo, doing my weekly races, and I'm just taking my tongue and, fidgeting with it. And all of a sudden, it just went tink. I was like, oh, I almost choked on it. But, there it is, man. Yeah, that's the one. So, yeah, and I'm trying to learn how to talk again. And as you've, he got me good, man. He just didn't have the flames on his head, but ooh boy, yeah, it got awful hot on that one. So, but yeah, that's how the tooth got loose and came out. So, didn't hurt coming out, but it did hurt getting loose. Is what it is. What are you gonna do, right? But yeah, so the other day, it was last weekend. It was Sunday because it was beautiful. It was like 75 up here. Oakley and I, because the couple of times that we had gone to the Springvale, hoping you had by a Sasquatch, I'm going to tell you, I try not to get too close to those guys. But that puppy's head, kind of like a little round piece of concrete hitting your front. Oh, God, I still feel it. Oh, it's rough. But yeah, no, man, I try to stay away from the Squatches, even though I might be stupid in the future and want to do a Bigfoot hunting documentary. I'm going to need help with that one. I'm going to have to try to get some people to come out and help me with it. But caught an elbow chipping a mine, bro. Oh, yeah. Ouch, man. Jeez. God. Yeah. Okay. I got discombobulated for a second there. It doesn't take much. So I didn't realize this, that you've got the Springvale Wreck, Mousom River. Okay, let me do it like this. Springvale Wreck. You've got, other hand. Over here is Indian's Last Leap. Their name, not mine. Okay? But that's what it's called. We just refer to it as the Leap. Now you've got the Mousom River that runs through that area. Over here is a big, big cemetery. And on the other side of the Leap is a really big cemetery. It's a veterans cemetery. So, yeah, that's right, bro. That's right. It's in the beard. In a lot of ways, I think. But anyway, I didn't realize there was a veterans cemetery on the other side of the Leap. So the second time that myself and the team, and we brought a couple extra people with us because we got run out of that place the first time. But there was some things coming over the spirit box, and we had 3 spirit boxes running that night. It was a wild investigation. It was so much fun, but there was stuff coming through that spirit box that I didn't understand. It was really weird. Some of the responses. Well, now that I know there's a veteran cemetery over there, yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense, because when Oakley and I went in there, we were getting a lot of responses like that. This was the middle of the day too. This was probably like 1 PM when we went up there. And generally, now I know that it's not the rule of thumb, but generally during the daytime, you're not getting as much activity as you would at nighttime, because I don't know why. Honestly, I've never really looked into that. So if any of you happen to know why the nighttime is better than the daytime, that would be interesting for me to know. I'm probably not the best paranormal investigator in the world. I should know that stuff. I just go talk to ghosts. They tell me stuff, and I show you, pretty much. I'm going to have to get better anyway. At least I'm not like a certain fellow who has a really big TV show that rips his shirt off and yells, "Come at me, bro," and gets possessed every other episode. You know? I know of one Civil War cemetery, but that's like Skowhegan. That's a few hours north of me. Maybe I'll get lucky enough to find that. Who knows? If I can start putting out stuff regularly on a regular basis. And that might be actually a good time to do a Patreon or a locals, which is the same as Patreon. They just, one is conservative, one is not, I guess. I don't know. I'm only going on by what I hear. But aside from all that, that whole land, man, like up in that veteran cemetery, Oakley and I were talking to a lady that came to visit her husband. And we were talking. She asked us what we were doing. And all of a sudden, over the spirit box comes, "I lived in the 1300s. My name is Josiah." I was like, "What?" So yeah, that was weird. And then it's just this really strange mix of energies depending on where you are. Like you've got the main area of the wreck where the people swim in the Mausoleum at the widest part right there. I've swam in there. It's a nice little area, great place to take the kids, all that. After spirit boxing it, my kids will never go in that water again because, well, you'll see. Trust me on that one. But if you're in like literally the middle, which will probably be about maybe a quarter of the way down the trail that goes to the leap, you're getting everything. You're getting the weird water stuff and stuff from the beach. You're getting the big cemetery on one side. You're getting the veteran cemetery on the other side. So yeah, that was something else. So what I wanted to, I wasn't going to visit the leap. Yeah, it's really weird, Bama. I got it on Spirit Box. You'll see when the and we were using Spirit Talker. We didn't use any others, so it'll be really easy to hear both Spirit Boxes. I'm still going to put subtitles up, but because I'm hard of hearing, but it's really easy and clear to hear through that Spirit Box. So I decided to come down to the wreck because I wanted to see something, because I hadn't see you've got basically what the leap is that the leap is a giant rock as it stands today. I'm not really sure what it might have looked like back in the day, back in that time when the supposed legend, even though I think there's a lot of truth to it, because I was talking to a certain fellow that kind of filled me in on that. Another direction of research, I guess you could say. But you've got a tragedy that happened on the other side of the leap. See, that night that all of us were there investigating, we were on one side, we were on the wreck side. And you can't get to the other side of the leap or on top of the big rock. Now, can your kiddo hear them through the spirit box? Oh, yeah. Yeah. See, and if anybody can put a yes or no in the chat, I'll ask this question. Do any of you guys know what the Ovilus device is? I might be saying that wrong. Ovulus device. It's a certain type of spirit box. But anyway, like I said, man, Oakley does really good in the field, dude. He's man. Maybe he'll take over for me one day, but he's not Lord Commander yet. Anyway, nope. Okay. Well, let me interject this real quick because it kind of helps. The Ovilus device is a spirit box that is either very small or very big, considering on what you buy. They range in price from $400 to like $2,000. Now, generally, if you Google that, you'll see a certain price range. I've seen a much wider price range. What the Ovilus device basically does is that they say it's the most accurate spirit box out there because it has 7 or 8 sensors in it that measure EMF, temperature, humidity. There's a Okay, I got you, brother. I can't remember. I'd actually have to open Spirit Talker right here so I could see all of it and it also has a speech to text program in it. I think it's probably why it's so expensive because it's so in there. Basically, what it does is it reads all of the energies around you, temperature, humidity, everything that you could probably think of, magnetism, all that stuff. It reads that and it brings it in. And whatever words or energies that are coming through go through the speech to text, and that's what comes out. It's basically like at the beginning of episode 2, Whispers in the Dark, that first thing that comes up when you hear, "My name is William." That's exactly what it sounds like. That's what it comes out. Clear, precise words and sentences. It's awesome because I'm not going to lie, this SB7 style of box, whether it's internet radio or anything like that, it's kind of hard to tell. I use that type of spirit box out in the field. If I don't hear it right, I think I'm hearing something different. And then I come back and I put subtitles in and I'm listening. I completely drop the ball. I feel like a ding dong. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to hear that. So what the Spirit Talker is, and here's the cool thing, because I talked to the guy on Twitter that created the Spirit Talker app, because he has an Ovilus device and he wanted to create an app. So we didn't have to carry this thing around because he kind of got a big one apparently, but he didn't want to carry it around with him all the time. So he wanted to create a phone app so he could do his investigations, just use his phone. Well, the cool thing is that all of the sensors that are in the Ovilus device are in our modern day cell phones. And what he uses is Google speech to text, which is already in our phone to begin with. And he's like, really, it was easy. All I had to do was write the software, and he tailor-made it for how he wanted the app to work for him. And in sharing the app with other people, with friends, it works so well. He decided, hey, I'm going to throw it out there for $5.50. It's awesome. I mean, if you've got $5.50 to spend, I'm not getting paid to say this, but dude, Spirit Talker was a game changer for me. As a matter of fact, because I know that I have spirits in this house. My dad shows up from time to time. I know Alice is in here, the lady that used to live on the second floor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fire up Spirit Talker, and we're going to talk and have this going. Mark, nice to see you, buddy. Thank you for coming in. So I'm going to tell some stories, and I'm going to run the Spirit Talker at the same time. And what does it say? But there it is. Oh, I got to find it. There it is. That's Spirit Talker. Here's the cool thing. There's all the list of sensors and everything. So here's the cool thing is that right here, when it talks, words will come up there and then it will drop down. So you literally have a list of words, and this app will save your files. So all you got to do is go in and hit the file button on the bottom here. And I can go in and name where I was and take a look at all that. So I'm going to fire it up. Boom. Here we go. Spirits, if you're here, I'm live on YouTube with my friends. I'm just going to set that right here. Make sure the volume's all the way up because it's kind of loud. And I'm just going to talk with you guys, tell stories, and see if they join in. Why not, right? It'll make things more fun. How about that stuff? So anyway, the reason why I mentioned this lady Crystal that I've been talking to on TikTok is because she had put up a video and I recognized instantly where she was. Is it bad that I know the trails that she's on just by the site? Yeah, exactly. Bama, my friend Bama said, let us hear you. And here's the cool thing. It's not going to say words if nothing says anything to it. That's the cool thing. Let's take a look here. I got 41% on my phone, so we got plenty. Doesn't take up that much battery. So come on, spirits, if you want to talk, maybe we might hear you. Might be live on YouTube.
I'd love to sing.
Did you hear that? It said, I love to sing. You love to sing? Will you sing for us? I got a microphone right here. Might pick you up. But don't wake up Renee and the boys or the puppy, because I don't want to take the puppy out yet. So just saying. But yeah, let me know if you guys heard that. If you didn't, I'll bring the phone closer to me. Matter of fact, I'll set it right here on the laptop. Hopefully it doesn't mess anything up. Now that's electrical. So, oh, you did hear that. Okay, good. If you can, tell me your name, spirits. I would appreciate it. I think I got portals here. Good, you heard it. Nice, because it's sitting right on the corner. That's the cool thing, man. And this thing really, as weird as it is, like I could set it on my laptop, it's really not affected by that. Because I've sat this, I use this at work, and that is a big EMF area. And if nothing comes through in a certain way, it doesn't work. You know what I mean? Cursed. I'm not cool with that. I'm not cool. I'm not cool with the curse thing. I hope you're not cursed. I don't want to be cursed. I hope you're not either. Bama, Mark, are you cursed? Anyway, cursed to live a life of monotony. But anyway, Crystal had, I started up a conversation with her in the comments, and she told me about a little like a memorial for a child named Aiden. Chaos, what do you think of the whole Annabelle thing? Real quick, Mark, the name of the app is Spirit Talker. Photograph. Well, this is kind of like a talking photograph. Or are you talking about all the pictures that I got up right here? Because I got a lot of them. I think, Bass, that people shouldn't screw with Annabelle. I wonder if you could do an interview with a native about these spirits. I happen to know a native. We all know a native. I ain't cursed up. That's good. I happen to know a fellow by the name of Yahola Tiger. Maybe I can get him to come on with me one night and we can talk. That would be awesome. That's a great idea. Now, why didn't I think of that earlier? I don't know why, but we're going to do that. We'll do that. Because I've been on his show. He needs to come on my show. Rock and roll. But aside from that, when we were at the opposite side of the leap doing that second investigation that evening, we were out there for like 2 hours. The name 1940s. Alice, is that you? Because Alice, she was an elderly lady. Huh. Is that you, Alice? Could you say yes or no to that question if you could, please? We'll wait. No worries. Take your time. So the name Aiden kept coming over the spirit box. I didn't know what that name was. I said hi to him like 5 or 6 times. It came over Nicole, who was our guest investigator then, and she was also with us at the church in Lebanon, which you would see in kind of like the later set of videos where you could see the night vision. It wasn't all black, working with the new camera. And his name came over her spirit box as well, because she was using Spirit Talker as well. And as weird as it is, I wanted to go down there. Well, unfortunately, I'm sorry. Trigger warning, I guess, maybe. Sad story. It was a complete freak accident. No fault of anybody. I mean, as I've read the article, and it's just so damn sad being a father, but a little boy got swept away in the Mousom River they got him out. He wasn't in the water for very long. Jessica. Well, hi, Jessica. Jessica. You know, that name has come over the spirit box across the street. That's weird. Could you tell me who you are, Jessica, and why you're here? We'll wait. Thank you. But he didn't make it, unfortunately. So when we went down there and we filmed there, Oakley and I, and we were getting, I mean, it's hard to get one certain spirit if it's there, because you have so many voices talking into the spirit box. Even like when I was using Paravox, there was so many different voices coming from so many different angles. Jessica was the name. What I'll do is I will move this closer. There we go. So I'll move that a little bit closer. So yeah, really sad, but we found his memorial, and there were some, like, he really loved Spider-Man. Somebody left something for Spider-Man. They left a Hot Wheels. They left a couple. Francis. Hi, Francis. See, that's the thing. I get a lot of names over this, and I don't know if it's stuff that's passing through, if it's attachments from either me or other people. I mean, I don't feel tardy. I feel fine. You know what I'm saying? I'm just old. That's all it is. That's why I'm tired. But, monsters help. They really work good. But open my mind. You know, my mind is open, my friend. I'd just like maybe you guys can answer some questions for me. My mind is totally open in case this is the first time you've ever been talking to me. So, So anyway, we went down there. I think, and I was really hoping I wouldn't get anything from that little boy, but I think there's some stuff that came through that might have been from him. I'm not 100% sure. It might have just been all the ones around me. So at that point, I had to go. Oakley and I had to go. We'd been out for a couple of hours. And so I decided that on the way back on the trail to walk back up to the Ghost, which is what I call my Explorer, the Black Ghost. It's a police car. I mean, why not? Goes like the wind. But inspiration. Well, thank you. And you are my inspiration. That's why I do this stuff. And all my friends say hi, by the way, whoever you might be. I had to think for a second. So I decided for the walk back up the trail, I would turn Paravox on. And it's really low on my phone. So, yeah, right. I had to put it right next to my microphone that's on the camera. But as I'm walking up, the name Aiden came over, or at least it sounded like it. I haven't listened back to it yet, but I'm 90% sure the name Aiden came over. Bama says, hi, spirits. Came over the spirit box. Medicine. You know, it's funny. I do need to go to CVS and get my medicine. You're not wrong there. So, but yeah, because I'm all out. But yeah. So I mean, and I need to listen to it. There was some stuff that came through that I heard. Other YouTubers say that phone apps are crap and fake, but I don't trust them like I trust you. Well, okay. Let's get into that a little bit. It's kind of, for me, it's kind of all black and white. There are shades of every color and everything. I know. You know what I mean? There are nuance and everything, but that's a vape, by the way, folks. Geek Bar Meta Moon. Delish. Anyway, I think the early Spirit Box apps, yeah, maybe. They've been out for a little bit, but a lot of them that are like the radio station style, like I think Paravox, I'm not 100% sure. I think you have to have the internet connected to your phone to use those properly. I don't know about Paravox. It doesn't say in there, because a lot of these apps, if you go into the about part on these apps, it will say internet connection required somewhere in there. Paravox. Conjure. I'm not conjuring anything. I don't know about you, but I ain't going to do that, man. I don't want that smoke. I want to sleep good tonight and not have any stuff come at me. No, thank you. I've tried the regular spirit boxes. I have a couple of them. I've also tried the phone spirit boxes. So let's go with this. My phone is strength-wise and computing-wise right on par with this laptop. Probably better than this laptop because this laptop is like 9 years old. I bought this right before Oakley was born, probably about a month or so before Oakley was born with bonus money, from where I worked because I was working Huzzy Seating at the time. I got a deal on it. It was like an $800 laptop. Only got it for like $250. It was freaking awesome. That's why I bought it. But so I would think that if you have basically a miniature supercomputer in your pocket, it's better prayer. Yes, we could say a prayer before we leave if you want. If people want to, we could do that before we say goodnight for the night. But when it comes down to it, brass tacks, a lot of people have created some really good apps. GhostTube creates some really good apps. Parabox, as I found, even though they're relatively new, have some really, really nice apps. And the Spirit Talker works just like the Obelisk device. So I think it's a matter of personal preference. But, to be honest, I think the phone apps work just as good, if not better, than the actual boxes themselves. I think that they're all on par with each other. I think the best thing to do, Mark, is to decide, or anybody else in here, to decide for yourself. If you have a spirit box, an actual, SB7 or that style of standalone box, I'd like it if you didn't haunt me. That would be cool. If you want to be a nice ghost, but Spirit Talker, and I'm definitely going to give it a try. Hey, man, I look at it like this. Spirit Talker, you don't need the internet to run it. You only need the internet to do the like when you first turn it on, it does like the internet verification to make sure everything's on the up and up. After that, like I've run this when my phone card has run out, and it's worked just as well as it did with the internet on as it does with it off. So I really, really like it. Cursed, that's the second time you said that. Are you talking about me or are you talking about you? A simple yes or no would be great because I don't feel cursed. I don't feel tardy either. So I'm just saying. I was listening to the song earlier. But yeah. So I mean, I think it's a matter of personal preference. Illegal? Well, I'm gonna be soon if I don't pay a fine. Anyway. And what I'm doing here isn't illegal. It's totally good. We're talking to you. Victor. Hi, Victor. You could be right, Bass. Could be talking about someone in the chat because truth be told, energy is energy. You know what I mean? Maybe, well, it's like the women, it's like the that's only one voice. If I could change a voice, I would. But it's no matter who comes through, it's the same voice every time. My name is James. Well, hi, James. Is there a James lurking in the chat? James. I'm pretty sure that name's come through here before. I don't think right here. I don't know. That's weird. Hi, James. Can you tell me why you're here? How did you get here? Just answer that question. How did you get here, James? Or why are you here? Either one. Yeah, exactly. Carmela. It's Carmela Soprano. I knew it. I couldn't get away from it. Sorry, Carmela. Hi. Hello. Yeah, maybe. I mean, is truth out there using some mental messery on the fine here? That's my middle name. Wow, man, weird, huh? That's kind of wild. But yeah, so we've had a lot of stuff going on. What was it? Let's see. 3. You know how like when you come home, Carmela. Yeah, exactly. That's what came over the name Carmela. I don't know where it came from. I mean, I've been told that there are people who can sense them or feel them, that there are portals around here, and that could be due to my messing around with doing spirit box stuff. Maybe. I don't know. So far, there hasn't been any bad stuff that's gone on except for maybe a little bit of fey trickery, but that hasn't even been bad either. Because like the other day, the wife lost her vape, and I told her to say sorry to the fairies. She didn't want to. She wanted to fight the fairies. She's like, I'm going to fight those fairies. I'm like, don't fight the fairies, man. They'll win every single time. So you know what I did? I came in here like a ding dong. Holly. Well, hi, Holly. The name Holly just came over. So I came in here. I said, fairies, I'm really sorry. Can you please return the wife's? I went deeper than that, but can you please return the wife's geek bar, her vape? And so we come out now, mind you, the last time I saw her vape, which was probably about maybe an hour before that, she had brought it into the bedroom. Well, we found it in a different part of the house. So I don't know. Maybe she could have taken it out and set it down. We all do that stuff, but I don't remember seeing that. And I mean, it's like a bright blue one. I mean, how can you miss it? But anyway, I digress. About it would be 3 Sundays ago now. This day 3 weeks ago. Was it? Maybe 4, but I think it's 3. 3 or 4 weeks ago, Sundays ago. I got a my friend of 30 years, Fuzzy. Time to drag myself. Night, everybody. You are hopeful. I am hopeful. You are correct on that. Good night, MV. Sorry, having a hard time talking. Thank you for coming in, my friend. Have a good night. Sleep well, my friend. And I hope to catch you in the next live or in the comments of the next video. Have a good night. So I didn't find out until the next day. I was perusing Facebook and I saw that. And I messaged his wife because I'm friends with his wife too. I've never messed Spirit Box before. Know much about them. All this learning experience to me. You know what, Mark? To say real quick, I've been dealing with the paranormal my entire life, from the age of like 8 on to now. And it's been just recently, like within the last year and a half. Navy. Is anybody from the Navy here? Or is anybody in the chat from the Navy? Is that what you're talking about? We've been grinding for about a year and a half now, and it's always something different. It's a learning experience for me. I feel better about going out into places, masking. I love this. I love this too. Thank you, because I'm talking to you. You're talking to me. We're talking to my friends online. So we're building a big bubble of energy, man. Positive energy, and it's really just we're hitting it right now. So aside from all that, it's been a learning experience for me too, and it is still a learning experience. When I started using the spirit boxes, I didn't know anything about them. Didn't know how to work them. Aggressive? I try not to be. Sorry about that. I hope you're not aggressive, because that ain't gonna fly here. And I don't like that. So I would appreciate it if you weren't, okay? But I'm not aggressive. I'm just excited. How about that? It's kind of like you can get advice from people. You know what I mean? You can email me at the Mysterious Nocturnum email, and we can have a conversation. Or if you have my regular messenger, we can do it like that too. And I can impart some of the stuff that I've learned from you and all that stuff. Plans. I have big plans. That's right. Along with these folks in here and you. But it's just one of those things. It's kind of like a trial by fire, man. I can give you as much advice as possible that I can give you, because we're all together in this. I mean, you're in the void now, bro. You're a nocturnal. You're in the void. So we're all working together trying to build stuff. You know what I mean? And who knows, maybe some of these days you get working with that spirit box and you get some stuff under you. You can come on to here with me and we can talk about stuff, what you've been dealing with and how it changed you. But I will tell you, I will warn you. And if you start doing this stuff, even if you're like, not doing it like I am, recording or doing it on a YouTube channel or anything like that, if you're just doing it on your own, it's going to change everything up for you. It's going to open everything up. You know what I mean? Good, bad. Otherwise, I don't really know. It hasn't really been bad for us. Knock on wood. So. The grave. Well, there's graves down the street. I hope there's not one under me because that would kind of stink. What grave are you talking about? Can you tell me where? But yeah, I mean, it's all right. Spirits, I got a question from Bama, my friend online here watching the show and listening to you. Do you go through a portal to get here? Can you tell me that? And we'll see if they answer. But yeah, I mean, I don't know everything. I'll never know everything. But all I can say is that, like I said, if we can get at me on the flip side, and I'll give you the advice that I have so far, what's worked for me. But it's still, you're 100% right, my friend. It's a learning experience. But yeah, so I found out my friend of 30 years passed away. It was sudden. I mean, he did have a heart attack like 7 or 8, maybe 9 years ago. So it was his heart. It was a blockage, just kind of gave out on him. And I was actually going to see him the following week. I actually was going to go see him either that Monday night or Tuesday night because he stays up till like 3 or 4 in the morning anyway. So where I get out at 11:15, I'd go knock on the door. I'd give him a call, say, hey, listen, I'm coming over. And then I hear that, and that really sucked. That was a tough day. I came home Tuesday night.
My death was brutal.
Oh, man, I am so sorry to hear that. I am so sorry to hear that. Can you tell me your name, please? I would really appreciate that if you could tell me your name. If I know you, the nickname I know you by. So I came home. I believe it was Tuesday night. It was the night after. Tuesday window. I ain't looking out the window. I don't want to see that. Thank you for telling me that you're at the window. Yeah, I don't. No, I don't want to see. If you're standing by the window, now I'm starting to see shit. I hope. Ugh. But anyway, and you know how when you come home, whether it's family or other stuff, but sometimes you come home, you just feel like the energy is different at the house. You come home, things are weird. Maybe the kids and the wife have been fighting. Maybe the dog's acting like a dink. Who knows? Which that happens to me. But I came home and the energy was off. It was weird. So I was sitting out on my recliner and I turned on the spirit talker and I kind of let it run and said, hey, who's here? And the first thing that comes up was, hey, you asshole, which is how he and I used. Yeah, I know, I'm just playing. Which is how he and I used to greet each other. And we did that for 30 years, man. Hey, you asshole, what's going on? And I was like, is that you, dude? Is that you? And he's like, Sculpture. Looking around. Do I have sculpture? I got stuffies. Yes. I am a 49-year-old man, going to turn 50 in November, and I have stuffed animals. I've got a Godzilla one, like that tall. I've got a creature from the Black Lagoon, really cool, like Universal Monsters, super detailed, and I've got a Bumble. A Bumble. If you know, you know. But anyway, I don't know if that's what you're talking about at all. I got a lot of stuff in this house. And anyway, I was like, dude, is that you? And he came up with the box, which I do believe it was him. He came up with my heart. I do still have the alien. Yes, as a matter of fact, dude, I do. I've got the alien head, the Guyver that you made me. All the stuff that you made me is on the little shelf right behind my microphone. Good call, dude. I didn't even think of that. Yes. Wow, Spirit, you're right on top of that. Don't mess with my stuff, though. Bass made that shit for me, and I really, really like them, so don't screw with that, okay? I'd appreciate if you don't. Please. Anyway, I'm hearing funny noises. Atmosphere. There's a really good atmosphere going on because I'm hearing funny shit back there. Little ticks and stuff that wasn't there when we started. It's just loud enough that I'm hearing it through here, or maybe it's in my head. Wouldn't surprise me. But yeah, so he said my heart, it gave out. And I was just like, dude, he's like, I miss you, man. And the last thing that he said was, tell Barbara I love her. And that's his wife's name. You know, I haven't. I've been in contact with her, say, hey, how you doing? How you holding up? You know, which is like a redundant thing to say after losing the love of your life so soon. But I don't know what else to say. You know what I mean? You know, forgive me for not having the words at the time, you know. But you still didn't tell me your name yet, Spirit. I'm waiting. Your death was brutal. You're at my window. You see my sculptures, and I hope you like the atmosphere in here, but you still haven't told me your name. And that's the last I heard of him. So, yeah, it's pretty wild. I kind of wish that I had gotten it on board. You're bored. You're bored. I got 6 viewers, man. And that number hasn't dropped in a little bit, so you're the only one who's bored. Keep talking and tell me your name, please. All right? I'd appreciate that. So look at this guy. He's a diva already. He's on YouTube. You know, chucking in on my live stream. And he's bored. Whatever. But yeah, I haven't told her. I'm not gonna tell her. I don't know that she believes in this kind of thing, and honestly, I don't know that I want to do that right now. Maybe in the future, I would, however, because this is what's the word I want? The side of me that is obsessed with doing this thing. I know, right? When my little brother passed, he came to my aunt's brother and said, "Tell Jay I'm sorry. It was my heart." Wow, dude. Damn. Isn't it, before I go on, isn't it weird to have this? It's like this weird synchronicity, isn't it? Honestly, in a lot of ways. Wow, I got the chills. That might be spirit. I know, because like when I go into places and there's that energy around, I get like the chills and the goosebumps up my back and in my shoulders, and I just got that. Communicate. That's what we're doing here. Definitely. That's what I'm hoping you do. You know, I hope you guys don't mind that I'm talking to you and the spirit box at the same time. Maybe being a spirit is boring. You know what? You could be right about that, dude. You could be right. Good possibility. So yeah, I don't know. As far as all that stuff goes, I think I'm going to keep that one close to me. As far as I don't want to tell her, maybe down the road, maybe not at all. I don't know how she would feel about that. I'm certainly not going to tell her now. It might help. It might go horribly wrong. You know, kind of like that shirt that Bama showed me anywhere. It's a horrible idea. What time? No, not this time, I don't think. But so it was a good day today. Nice day. We were out and about, driving around. Took the puppy for a walk a couple times. It was great. Loved it. Excuse my my vape sound. I'll just probably turn the mic up after on the next one. But yeah. So I asked him, I said, "You want to do something?" I asked him earlier in the day. I said, "When it starts to get dark." And so I said, "All right, rock and roll." So we went to We can see you all. I'm pretty sure that you can. I can't see you, in all honesty. I kind of don't. I don't know that I want to see you right now. I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm just kind of like, you know, doing this thing. And if any of you guys see the blinking lights, I got little blinking lights going on up here. So If something weird happens behind me and I don't catch it, tell me later. Okay? Screw it. Tell me now. I don't care. But so I asked him, I said, "Hey, do you want to go do the school?" Now, right around the corner from me. And it's a walk. It's like a 3-minute walk away from here, a couple streets down, little corners. There's an old school over there. It's called Lafayette School. And well, it's not a school anymore. The school was shut down. A very old school. Besides with the opening up of 3 elementary schools, there was really no need for Lafayette School because that's what it was, an elementary school. So the short of it is that Oakley and I, and it just started getting warm too. Sweatshirt weather. It was probably think. You know what? March. It was March because that's when I did the TikTok video a couple of days later, and we went down there to the school and told the story. But we're just walking with the puppy, and now it had been raining and windy all day, and it was one of those so many weekends in a row where it was just crappy weather, and worried. I hope you're not worried. I'm not worried. So if you can elaborate on it, that would be great. We were walking down by the school, and it was just kind of like the route we take. The puppy, he was pretty small at that point. And I looked at Oakley and I'm like, "Do you think this place is haunted?" I'm like, because it's one of those places like they've got this like bright but really eerie yellow light hanging in the corner. So, doctor, I don't feel like I need a doctor. Maybe you were a doctor when you were living. I hope I don't need a doctor. But if you can elaborate on that too, I would appreciate that. Worried and doctor. I don't think that bodes well for me very well right now. But positive attitude. So I am a diabetic though. Maybe that's what you're talking about. At least that's what I hope you're talking about. So with a little bit of chaos, is that the school that you posted a video at? Yes, that is the school. You're right. It was so weird too because we get down in there and Oakley was just kind of like, he gives me that look like maybe, but I don't want to find out. But I was like, okay, let's go. We walk right up to the side of the building, and I throw on Spirit Talker. I wasn't getting a whole lot. You know what I mean? I was, but I wasn't. Maybe it was new. They hadn't started talking yet. But I turned Spirit Talker off. And because as a matter of fact, earlier in that day, we had gone to a graveyard in Acton, which is probably about 20 minutes away from here or so, going speed limit. It was a little quicker for me and the ghost. But there's this road that I used to take my 4-wheel vehicles down called Hibo Road. And there's some people that live down there, but I hated my life. Dude, I'm really sorry to hear that. I'm sorry you hated your life. And I'm not trying to be funny, but how is your unlife going? How is the spirit life going? I'd like to know that if you'd be willing to tell me. But we had gone there, and I actually wanted to use Spirit Talker and Paravox for that graveyard. The church was built. There's a church that sits on those grounds. It was built in 1841, so it's an old church. But they keep up with it. They keep it painted. They keep it looking really nice. The windows were really tall, so I'm short, so I couldn't kind of like get in there and look. So I'm going to see if I can get a hold of somebody and, in Acton, so maybe I can get in there. Don't tell people. What don't you want me to tell them? I mean, I won't tell them what you don't want me to tell them. You talking about now? Because this is a really cool thing, Anyway, I probably should know better, right? But I don't. So I wanted to use both, but I turned on Spirit Talker there, and it was so active in the earlier in the daytime that I didn't even where your well, Dad, if that's you, I believe they're right over there on that shelf, or they might be right above me on this shelf. Can you tell me if that's you? Did you pop back in to say hello? Wow. I'm not going to stand up to see if I can find him because that would dislodge everything going on right next to me. But holy cow, dude, that one struck me. Holy. But yeah, it was weird because the weather was fair. It was like 7:30 at night, so it was still daylight out. 7 o'clock at night. Between 7 and 8 anyway. But it was still daylight out, but it was getting dark. And it was about that time where it would be cool to go and, good time to go and do that, which is like kind of like what we did tonight. And yeah, we get in there and I was like, you know what? I'm going to give Parabox a shot. And just some of the stuff that came over that, because unfortunately I wasn't recording. It was literally an impromptu type of thing. You know what I mean? No pun intended, dude. But I said, are you here, spirits? I get a yes. And it was clear too, because like I said, Paravox lover. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. My lover is in the next room. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. I don't have any spirit lovers that I know of. But Dad, if you're here, let me know what's going on. Is that you? Anyway, we get in there and it's calm, and then the swings that are like probably about 50 feet away from us that way start jingling. Now there's no wind. You've been here 50 years. I know Alice lived here for a really long time, but I wonder if it was 50 years. I don't know. Steve? The people on the third floor, my two neighbors, mother and daughter, live on the third floor. They've been here for a really in this building a really long time. I don't know how old this building is, but they were here for a really long time, and their husband passed away here. I wonder if that's you. Huh. I don't know. That's weird. It's getting weird, ain't it? Pretty cool. So the swings start like the chains on them. That's that old school style swing set. They start like tinkling or chingling, or I don't even know if that's a word, but you understand what I mean. And so when I asked, I said, "There's spirits here?" It said yes, and it was clear too. Like it wasn't low; it was clear. You could hear it really well. Terrible. Terrible. Is my story terrible, or are we talking about something else here, Spirit? Give me a little insight on that if you could, and maybe a name. That would be cool too. But the wind starts to pick up a little bit, and it'd been completely wind. I mean, for like the last hour, it was completely windless. It was mild, not raining, no wind. So I was like, okay, the wind picked up, and I asked, "Are you in the school or you were on the playground?" It said school, and I said, "Okay, spirits, how many of you are here?" And then instantly, snap! It came back 7. I'm like, ooh. Now, the weird thing is, it said other stuff too, but that was like the most prominent. Weird thing is that, after I posted that video, I had a friend of mine, Sean Butler, who is actually a photographer. I hope horrible things. You know what? I actually kind of know horrible things happened here because I know a little bit about this building before we moved in. Take a photo. How about for the heck of it, one of you guys at home, if you're not on your cell phone, take a photo, or if you get a camera next to you, because I don't want to take a photo. I've got a moving photo. It's called a video. Right here, if you want to pass behind, that would be cool, kind of. But so yeah, that's when I looked up into that top set of windows, and it looked like it basically, now that I've got you. Well, thank you. I'm trying to be accepted my whole life. So if I'm accepted in one spot, victory. But it looked like if like this were a window right here, if this were a window, it looked like somebody was swiping fists like that. That's what it looked like. And the window was pitch black. There were no lights on in there. Of course, it was getting dark on the outside. So that's what it looked like. Now, granted, somebody could have been up there and doing that, but there were no knocks on the windows. Normally, if I would up there and I see someone doing that, I'm going to like knock, knock, knock. I don't know. Do you see anything? Anything weird hanging around in the background? You know, I guess that's spirit. Somebody at home took a photo. Are you in that photo? Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? No? Okay. Well, maybe they wanted me to take a photo of the window that I don't want to. Nah, I'm good. I'm not going to do that right now. Not going to do that. So if I were up there, like I said, I would have ting ting knocked on the window. I would have knocked on that window just to screw with the person below me. So you're making it cold. I don't feel cold right now, but if I do feel cold, I'll let you know. I do have the tingles, so I know something's definitely here. Maybe you're making me cold. I don't know. But okay, I was gonna say something, but I ain't. Right, failed. Yeah, I did fail because I don't want that kind of smoke right now, Spirit. Sorry, I didn't mean to disappoint you. I did not mean to disappoint you at all. Getting behind. So if y'all see anything moving in the background, make sure and let me know. You know what I mean? But slightly cold due to the fan, right? I don't even have a fan. It's kind of warm in here, to tell you the truth. We're wearing a long sleeve, but so Oakley kind of started to get spooked. The puppy did not like it at all. He started barking. And in all honesty, that dog, even now, still only barks at us. And that's it. Don't bark at other people. Don't bark at other dogs. You're right. It is important. You're right. I know you're here. If you want to show yourself to me, there's a camera right there. I'm putting my finger in right there on my laptop. You can go behind me. Maybe you can make a shadow, you know? But you have to make it good because I got blinking lights. So, you know, if you're going to make it work, all right? But yeah, so we left. I kid you not. I'll do the main thing. By Jesus, I shit you not. We walked out onto the sidewalk out of that playground and the wind completely died. Went back to the way it was before we got in. So I think in that video that I put up of that on yeah, I did, because I was in the schoolyard and I pointed to a spot, like kind of like a through street, and you could see a house I was pointing to. We were on that sidewalk. That's the weird thing, man. I mean, I stopped and I looked because I was actually going to light a smoke, and I looked over and I'm just staring. Chaos. Did you hear that? Yes. Yes, I am chaos. Probably not what you mean, but I am chaos. Lord Commander Chaos. Darkness. It's dark in the room, yeah. It's dark in the room. I don't quite know what you mean by that, but I'm just going to hope that it's not a bad thing. And yeah, I look and there's a silhouette, a shadow of somebody, because there was a light on in that first level of windows. So if somebody was standing there from the distance that we were at, I would assume that you wouldn't be able to see features. It would just look like a silhouette or shadow of a person. Well, I don't know how many people, and I know some pretty flexible people, but standing straight, bending this way. And it started to do that, and I'm like, well, okay, that's weird. Why would they be doing that? Until they completely, and the top of their head was equal with their belt. That freaked me out. And the thing was, I thought maybe I was seeing things, and I looked down, and Oakley's right there, and he's like this. He's like looking at it like that, and I turned back, hoping that it wasn't there, but it still was. Now, granted, it was probably, hey, hi, I'm here. So are you. It was probably maybe, because, being a paranormal investigator, doing this ghost hunting thing, you want to try to debunk yourself so in your own head that you're getting something, genuine, or you're seeing something genuine. It could have been a homeless dude that is so flexible that he should be in the Olympics. But I don't know. I don't know how many of you out there know somebody that can do that, but I don't know anybody. And that just looked like when the head was all, when the body top half was all bent over, it looked so unnatural. And that was kind of one of those things I was like, you know what, dude? I'm done. I'm good for the night. We walked back. And the wife kind of laughed at us, thought we were full of shit until she saw Oakley's face and how serious he was being. And then she was like, really? I'm like, really? Why would I joke about that? I'm not going to lie about it. Come on now. That was some really good stuff. Wish I had a camera. I had a cell phone, but I was like, as well. So, you know what I'm saying? So, we are at 1 hour and 36 minutes. It is 12:21 where I am, and I have to go walk the puppy. So, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to ask you guys a question. And I put this question out on the posts or the community board on the YouTube channel. And I got some good responses back. Avoid this area. But, dude, I live here. I mean, how am I going to avoid this area? Like, I'm in a couple of hours, I'm going to be sleeping right over there. So I'm like, why I got to do that? So, spirits, I'm going to shut you down for now. Thank you. Everybody else in the chat, thanks you. We appreciate you being here and talking with us. Would you like to say goodbye or good night to everybody in the chat before I turn off the spirit talker? I'll give you another minute or so, okay? No rush, no pressure, but I got to talk with the folks, and avoid the area where you guys were investigating. Oh man, oh god, it's so good. We got a lot of good shit tonight. I'm not gonna lie, dude. Good call, Bass. I didn't even think of that. Man, maybe you're right, because I mentioned a guy named Sean earlier who does he's a special contributor to Echoes from the Afterlife because he has a lot of good pictures. He does photography, and his photography is amazing. Excuse me.
Children play games.
The children do play games. That was a nice playground. Even my kids still go to that playground and play games there. So, okay, I can see that. But I'm going to ask you, spirits, would you like to say goodnight or goodbye? Everybody says thank you, spirits. Thank you so much for being with us tonight. I'll give you another moment to say goodnight, but it's okay if you don't, because you gave us a lot already. So, man, I really like that school. And I think there's a good chance that I could actually get to the inside of that school. But my friend Sean, who contributes to the channel that way through his photography, had told his grandfather had told him that there is, because his grandfather went to school there as a kid. And that was actually like Lafayette was one of the early schools that was there. I don't know if it was called Lafayette at the time. I didn't ask that, but it's in the comments of that video that there was something bad there. There was something dark there. So judging by what we saw and what came over the spirit box, and
my name is Albert.
Well, hi there, Albert. Okay, well, I'm shutting you guys down for the night. Thank you so much, spirits. Everybody says goodbye, good night, and thank you. And we are out. So, this is what I'm going to do. I'm thinking of doing the Patreon because I would like to expand my reach. I'm not asking any of you to do anything that you don't want to do. And I know that I'm suspect, that I'm not always right on with the videos and the podcasts. That's something I definitely need to improve on. I'm working to improve on. I mean, hey, I'm live tonight, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. But anyway, I was thinking, because I'd only ask people for $1 a month, because that stuff adds up after a while. So, how does this sound? Instead of doing it here on the Void, if I were to start a Patreon, how about live ghost hunts over Patreon just for the people who support and contribute? Nothing against anybody who don't want to do it, because I'm still going to have plenty of content up here. The Echoes episodes are going to start rolling. But I figure if I did that, instead of maybe having to make extra content, extra YouTube style videos, why don't I just do live ghost hunts with you guys out there? I'll set up a little rig. I'll get another phone, because I think I need to get one anyway. Spirit Talker runs beautiful on this. But why not do that? Why not have you guys in there? Well, no, you don't have to have. I don't know if you have to have Patreon or not. I'm not sure. But some type of thing, so that way maybe that would pay for hotel rooms, gas. And some places, if you want to investigate, you can get into, but they charge you a fee. So I'm still working on that. You know what I mean? Maybe do a PayPal link. I don't know. I don't know if you have to be. I guess maybe you do have to make a Patreon account to contribute to Patreon. Maybe you do. I don't know. But that's what I would be thinking. Instead of making videos, why not have it a fully interactive thing? And I'm still working on that, whether it be Patreon or locals or whatever it is, a service like that. But if I were to do live ghost hunts and you guys give questions, kind of like how we were talking tonight with the spirits apparently floating around here. So I don't know. Work on that. You ain't got to give no answers now, because that's still down the road, man. That's still something that I'm looking into, because I don't want to get into a venture and then have it go kind of like sour or south. You know what I mean? But I think that's what's going to happen. I think that's probably what my contribution would be to those who actually, should I decide to do it, want to support. Hold on a second. Excuse me, had to cough. But I think that's what my contribution would be to you guys if you're going to do that stuff. Let's go out ghost hunting once a week in a nice area. I'll have my big flashlight. My big flashlight. So, yeah. I think that might be the way to go if that's a way that I want to go. But we've been on for almost an hour and 45 minutes. And honestly, I didn't expect to be on longer than like maybe 45 minutes. So you guys have been awesome. It was fun chatting with you and the spirits at the same time. And, you know, I kind of had this love-hate relationship with going live. I like to do other people's stuff, you know, impromptu truth, impromptu truth, teeth, War Cry podcast. I like to go on to my friends' stuff and just shoot the breeze with them, because as you well know, I did a live stream for a long time as a co-host. I loved it and I hated it at the same time. So that's kind of like what it is. But I know that if I got to grow, this is something I got to do, and it's something that I want and need to do. So I'm going to say thank you for coming on here with me tonight. We got as high as 6 on the eyeball counter. Totally awesome, because I've had Bass, I've had Mark, I've had Bama, MV was here earlier, Hexen was here earlier. We've had some folks that were just kind of watching and sandbagging, and I don't mind that either. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for keeping the chat lively. And this is going to be a once a week thing. So maybe next week I'll actually have Jay on here. And that guy, man, too funny. We'll try to come on and talk paranormal stuff, but he's just going to crack jokes, and we're going to end up telling old stories from back in the day of our debauchery, which is a lot of fun too. So thank you very much, everybody. I absolutely love you guys and gals. You're all the best. And I will see you a week from now, whether it be Saturday or whether it be Sunday. I'm really not sure. But it will be one of those nights. And Bama gave me the idea earlier to kind of throw out something a little like YouTube short saying, hey, I'm going to go live at this time and such night. And I think this is what we're going to talk about. Why don't you leave something in the comments and give me suggestions and we'll just roll with it from there. We'll wing it. So, but everybody, thank you. I love you. And I appreciate you guys being here. Good night. Godspeed. Via con Dios, all of that good stuff. And I will see you guys in 3, 2, 1. Good night, my Nocturnals. We'll see you next time.